Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And we do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, expert speakers get heard, get noticed, get seen on any device, anywhere, anytime, in as little as 15 hours, also known as the Authority Acceleration Program. Now, on today's show, Entrepreneur Journey Wednesday, my guest is someone I've known for almost 20 years. He's a good friend to my entire family, having spent a summer at our home many years ago as he played for the same fast-pitch softball team as my younger brother. Now, John has always been a great athlete in the sport of fast-pitch softball, playing for Team Nova Scotia at the Canada Games, winning the All-Canadian Second Baseman Award. He then was a member of the same team as my younger brother Trevor when they represented Nova Scotia at the Canadian Junior Men's Championships in Newfoundland. They went on to win a silver medal at that tournament, losing the final game to a dynasty at the time, Lloydminster. I reconnected with John back probably in 2002, I believe it was, when he agreed to be a member for the Edmonton Black Sox, the team that my younger brother and I played for, and my older brother actually coached. So we went on to represent Alberta that year at the Canadian Men's Fast Pitch Championships. So John was a member of that team. So we got to reconnect. And I think we even shared my younger brother, John, myself, we even shared the same hotel room for that week. But John was always better known for his boxing. In 1988, he went on to win the Canadian title for his weight class and has boxed in the World Championships, where he won international titles, including the silver medal at the Commonwealth Games in South Africa. After his sports career was coming to an end, he went on to get his teaching degree and became a well-respected teacher in his home of Cape Breton. John went on to become a family man, marrying his wife, Candace, and becoming a great father to a couple great boys. But recently, he was hit by the entrepreneurial bug and opened up John's Knockout Fitness, where he also works as a part-time trainer. Now, in 2015, Bell Alliant, the phone and TV giant in Canada, aired 12 episodes of a fitness series on TV1 Video on Demand of John's Knockout Fitness, starring the man himself, John McCarthy. So today, I'm going to find out from John how he ended up as a fitness club owner, how he managed to not only get featured, but get a fitness series with Bell Alliant, and what lessons he's learned as a boxer that he's applying to being a successful entrepreneur. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back, I'll be joined by my good friend, John McCarthy. And we're back. Thanks for joining us today. I have a great guest scheduled today, someone I've known for close to 20 years now. He made his mark in the ball diamond as an all-Canadian second baseman, and inside the squared circle as a champion boxer. I guess squared circle is really the term they use for wrestling, but inside the ring as a championship boxer. But now he's entered into a new ring, and that's the entrepreneur's ring. So John McCarthy is a teacher, husband, father, former Canadian boxing champion, and now owns his own fitness club, where in what little spare time he has, he works as a part-time trainer. Now, he's also filmed a 12-episode fitness series with Bell, the major Canadian TV as well as phone company in Canada, and he did that last year, 2015. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs up and heart icons across the screen for my good friend and my guest today, John McCarthy. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, thanks. And
Great.
I see that your studio has your Seattle Seahawks colors.
Yes, my football team.
Big Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yes, well, I went to see them in New York when we won the Super Bowl against Denver. It was
that's
fantastic.
right. I remember you actually went down for the game. Did you actually get into the game, or you were just in the area?
No, I went in. I had great seats and loved every minute of it. Traveled myself. Had a great time.
Excellent. Hey, I know that just sort of off the topic, but I think Trevor was telling me that there was a Cape Breton team that was at the Masters Nationals this year. Did you end up going with them?
No, this year I pulled my quad early in the season and was scheduled to go with those guys. Had my flights planned and ready to go, and unfortunately injuries as we get up here in age is more often than not.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that you've been on the show before, and so you know that before we get into too far, that we do an interview speed round of questions, and just 10 questions, just so the viewers get to know a little bit more about you, and so just blurt out whatever comes to mind, the first few words or whatever. So it's nothing that you needed to study for. So as always, I'd like everyone else at home to play along as well. So as I'm asking the questions, please enter your answers. And I think last week I did this, and my good friend Andy Lockwood, who's been on twice already, his answer to every question was John McCabe. So hopefully you have a better answer than just my name all the time. But so just please play along with us as I ask the questions. So the very first one is, name the book that impacted your life the most.
Bo Knows Bo. I'm a Bo Jackson fan, Kansas City Royal fan.
Excellent. He was an amazing player. It's too bad that he got injured early in his career, but he was just unstoppable. So when you were a young boy, who was your celebrity crush?
You know what? It was General Hospital. She was known as Felicia. I loved her.
I actually know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Christina Crump. She ended up marrying Jack Wagner.
Oh, did she?
I didn't hold her up. I wasn't too upset about it.
No. So what either book, podcast, or show are you into right now?
I'd have to say your show right now.
Excellent. Thank you.
The one I'm into.
So I know in the past, playing ball and being a championship boxer, you've worked with a lot of coaches. So are you working with any business coaches now that you're entered into the entrepreneur's ring?
Really I'm not working with any particular business coach. I have a few friends that are in the business area that I tap into, but it's something that probably I should look into in the future and lacking right now.
Excellent. So what's your favorite movie of all time?
Rain Man.
Rain Man.
I'm a big Rain Man fan, yeah.
Excellent.
My wife, she doesn't like me watching it too often because I kind of try acting like it for a day or so.
Yeah, so probably gets on her nerves a little bit.
Yeah, very much.
So you talked that you have some few entrepreneur friends that you tap into every once in a while, but are you involved in any sort of mastermind where you get together with a group of other businesses and you sort of help each other work on their businesses or ideas?
No, not per se. Like, we always throw around things that I'd like to do, like maybe get a bigger gym and do some different things that way. But with teaching and those kinds of things, my time is really not that available.
Yeah, it's really limited. And how many children do you have?
I have two boys. Matthew is 13 and Keegan is 11.
And I'm sure that they're involved in a lot of sporting activities that keep you busy, driving them around as well. So,
well, I coach the soccer team now at school and hockey as well.
Oh, yeah. So time is a limited factor for you. So we'll just name the person, either dead or alive, who you'd most like to meet and have dinner with.
I would say President Obama. I think he's a fascinating man and has done a lot for the U.S. and I think it would be interesting to hear some of his insights on his 8-year career.
Exactly, especially if he didn't sort of redact all of his statements and actually get into the real information.
Yes, exactly.
So what's your favorite type of vacation? Is it a beach or an adventure tour?
I'm more of a beach person for the fact that I see my life is always an adventure. It's go, go, go. And not to say the beach isn't for relaxing, but I do get involved in a few little activities while on the beach side for sure.
Nice. So what's the best business advice that you've ever had?
I would say take some time for yourself. Don't get consumed by it and actually sit back and relax a little.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work on it.
So the last question is a two-parter. So would you prefer water, beer, or wine? And how about pizza, wings, or salad?
Definitely a beer guy and definitely a salad guy.
Okay, so that beer and salad, that's your afternoon lunch. Nice.
Yeah. One good habit.
So, John, can you, for the interview, for the guests who don't know you personally, can you give the viewers maybe a 3 to 5 minute version of your origin story, sort of where you came from, how you grew up, getting into boxing, ball, teaching, and then on to owning your own gym. So just sort of walk us through, in 3 to 5 minutes, sort of your story.
Well, I love ball. That was my first passion by far. And I started in Little League when I was 7 and continue to love the sport. Ironically, my team was the Royals, and to this day is the Kansas City Royals, my favorite team. I get into boxing eventually when I was 13 to stay in shape. I simply just wanted to stay in shape for the winter and took that route because it was in my neighborhood. I did a little dabbling in the fighting aspect of my street, so
I heard stories about what was the name of that famous bar in Sydney, Smooth Herman's. I heard stories about outside Smooth Herman's.
There's a few outside and a few inside, to be honest. But so boxing became my sport to stay in shape, and I really became hooked into that aspect of the sport once I jumped in the ring for my first time. And I fought 3 fights in 2 days. It was a novice tournament. It was under 10 tournament, and I was black and blue at the end of it and full of blood, but I came out with that little gold medal, and it was like the world to me.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of hooked. Ball, again, continued to be my passion, and I played with many great teams in the local area. And then I was fortunate enough to become on the Nova Scotia Canada Games team and captain that team out in Saskatoon. So that was another, real highlight of building my ball career.
Yeah.
As far as boxing went, that continued to grow with each and every fight. You battle more and more tougher opponents, bringing them in from different parts of the world, and I matched up against guys from Quebec, Ontario, BC, and then again, like I said, moved on to U.S. and Ireland and further.
Yeah.
So it was quite the dream, I thought, and again, happy to do so and do it again today if I could.
Did you ever think of that you'd end up going pro, or when you were boxing?
Well, I had offers to go pros, but my goal was to get to the Olympics, and unfortunately, I didn't make that. It's like anything when you put your heart and soul in it. It's time, it's effort, it's money, it's dedication. You give up a lot of things, but again, you have that goal and determination, and I think that bode well for me in the aspect of life.
Right.
And I was at the point where I was just finishing up my amateur career, and that happened with a loss to Troy Ross to go to the Olympics. Troy Ross was a tremendous fighter, and just happened to be in my weight class. And him and I had quite a few battles, but I was never able to overcome it and get that win.
Yeah.
But again, I never backed down. I was always ready to go. New training techniques, better fitness, better eating, and again, try to find ways to make that dream a reality. Again, I did travel overseas. I fought at the Commonwealth Championships in South Africa and won a silver medal there, and had a lot of glorious times with boxing and made a lot of great friends that I love talking to and I love telling stories with today.
I bet. So then you, when your boxing career ended up winding down, you went back to school to get your education degree?
No, I was boxing during school,
okay.
and which is a challenge in itself. But I was at CBU for my first degree and took a lot of part-time courses, take 3 and 4 courses rather than the full load.
Yep.
And when I finally went to UNB in Fredericton for my education degree, it was a full load, and it was a full boxing career at that time as well, because I was still on the national team and I was a carded athlete, so I had to maintain studies maintain my status with Boxing Canada as well.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to have that degree, pretty much paid for through Boxing Canada. And,
Nice.
Fortunate for it.
And you're fortunate to get teaching in your hometown or close to your hometown, and then end up getting married and then opening up a fitness studio.
Yes, yeah. Well, my wife and I made our move to Ontario at the beginning to work on her career as a lawyer, and I taught school for 5 years.
Okay.
After we had our first boy, and we made a decision. Okay, are we coming home, or are we going to plant roots in Ontario? And we made the move back home for the better, for sure.
Yeah, excellent. So, what were some of the biggest lessons that you learned as an athlete? Training for championship fights, working on your craft, and trying to get better. That you come to realize were really lessons about life, not just boxing.
Well, I feel that you have to realize your potential. Some guys really don't see it, and they kind of step back and maybe not give that all in fear of failure. And I believe fear of failure will hold a lot of people back.
Yes.
And I think in the entrepreneur world, it definitely did for me, because it took me a while to make that jump. I thought about things in the past. I had my ideas. I knew what I could offer people, but really did I want to put it out there.
Right.
So training and boxing for myself set me up for later. But every day I went to the gym. I worked on one thing, prepared for the next day, worked on another, and tried to put it all together when it came time. And this happened with my job right now.
So I think mindset is huge in not just any sport, but business as well as life as well. Because if you believe it, you can achieve it. And what ends up happening is a lot of people don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they're worthy or they can be successful, and then they start believing the negative talk that people constantly bring at them or whatever. So they're not able to achieve their true potential. But when working with a professional coach that you did with Boxing Canada, working with some of the best coaches when it comes to softball, these people actually see your potential and they help reinforce that on a daily basis. Instilling your confidence, telling you that you can achieve whatever it is that you can achieve. And I think it's the same way in business. That if you're going into it with that mindset that you don't think you're going to succeed, or you're not good enough, or maybe you don't have the right education or something, that if you think you're not going to succeed, then you're right, you're not going to succeed. But if you think you can succeed, then as long as you're taking the necessary steps to make it happen, then it's definitely going to happen for you.
And I think with everyone, there's different types and degrees of success. I mean, yes, we dream big, and yes, we want this and we want that. But I think people forget, like I said, I didn't make that Olympic team. You know what? But I think it's the best path that ever could have happened for me.
That's right.
I came from a poor area. It gave me an outlet. It gave me focus. It gave me all the tools to move on, own my own home, own my own car that I want to drive, have my business, and a beautiful family that I wished for.
That's right. So, which of those lessons that you've learned have you actually incorporated into opening and running your own fitness club to make it successful? So if you can think about the very specific lessons you learned in boxing and going through that training, which ones have you sort of incorporated into the decision of opening your business and making it successful?
Well, I think preparation is number one. I mean, you have to prepare for the good, and you have to prepare for the bad. There's days where you're going to feel, hey, like, this is awesome, things are going great.
Yeah.
And there's days you're going to walk in that training gym and walk in life, and guess what? It's not that rosy anymore. You're getting beat up, you're getting put down, you're getting things, or your light bulbs in the gym is going. Different things happen, and you have to prepare for the good and the bad. I think so. Commitment to that, and succeeding and moving towards it is major.
Excellent.